Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Papa Russ Show. Imagine this: 2 weeks in a row, I've taken my own entry back. Hey, and today, and that was the rubber. And so, Sydney, this a couple weekends ago, you were working on a car with Chris. Tell me all about it.
God, why are you gonna make me relive that? Jesus.
For the entertainment of the masses.
Yeah.
Since we're up 120% out of 3.
Believe me, there was nothing entertaining about this. We were cussing this bloody car all weekend. I was helping a friend of mine take a engine out of a 2008 Subaru Outback and transfer over parts that we needed to transfer over and put the new engine and put the new engine in. It took us an entire day just to get that bloody engine out because it was just one problem after another. Either something would go wrong. We couldn't get to something. We've made so many trips to Farmville to get parts at Walmart, Lowe's, and other auto parts stores.
You went to Lowe's to get car parts?
Bolts.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. It was the only place that had them.
Lowe's knows.
That's it. They got a wide selection of bolts. But anyway, we made so many bloody trips, I almost feel like I grew up in Farmville.
Well,
they're not laughing because I've already done that joke once off camera.
that was a knee slapper.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. But it was,
Yeah. So,
it was an adventure. Still not up yet. Gotta wait for valve covers to come in now. And it still has a few other problems.
they're getting those from Home Depot, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
And if I was funny, I wouldn't be a broke, right, Slater?
Yeah. Somebody on Chris's family, her boyfriend and her came down. We had him help us with a couple things. He doesn't know the first thing about cars. He doesn't know hardly what's what. We were trying to get the valve covers off. We had to cut a few of the bolts off because they were not budging. And we still had to use pry bars to get this thing off. He was helping us pry, and he chipped the corner off of one of the valve covers where the seal's at. So
Lovely.
so we couldn't bring it home, and we also think it's having fuel pump issues because it was running fine last night and early this morning. Then it decided to run for maybe a few seconds, cut off, or just give us hell getting it to start at all.
Well, that's the Shade Tree mechanic story of the year.
Yep.
And before you know it, they'll be working in NASCAR.
No. It'll be a good while before I ever want to see that damn car again. I'll tell you that. I've had enough of it.
So, Robert, I'm going to talk about Walmart again with you.
Oh boy, here we go.
I heard you had an interesting story with a drug dealer.
Supposedly. But that's an interesting way to build up the conversation. I'm not going to go into details, but I was on the door checking receipts, and they asked me to because they were watching one person. Which, by the way, the person that came through wasn't even the person they were watching. This lady had a group of friends, or not officially, we just thought they were together. We couldn't confirm that.
Anyway.
But each person tried to walk out with a cart, and the multiple people, we asked them receipt, and they dropped the cart and then walked out. This lady in particular, though, she comes through, and I asked her for a receipt. Manager was standing there too. We both asked for a receipt, and she goes and starts going crazy, like she's losing her mind, yelling.
Full-blown Karen.
Full-blown Karen. That's the easiest way
Since
to
that's
describe
the
it.
trend right now, everybody's a Karen.
Karen is a mindset.
Leave me alone!
Let me speak to your manager.
Did she even have that, I want to speak to a manager, a Karen haircut?
Nah, she didn't have pink hair.
Darn.
But no, anyway,
What was
so
her response?
she responded, and I quote, "I don't know why you're singling me out for stealing." She said, "This is why I started selling drugs, so I'd have the money to buy these things."
Wow.
And that was her whole defense the whole time. And she was like big. Like this was 5-10 minutes of yelling. Her just saying, "I'm a drug dealer. I don't need to steal."
Folks, this is why that me and Sydney still talk about Dare.
Yeah. A lot of good it did me. I still smoke.
Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois.
Damn you. I throw it back to our childhoods. We're showing our age on this one.
The other day I called him and
Oh
I
my
said
God.
something about Chicago, and he just blurts out, Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois.
I didn't just blurt it out. I actually, you know what that makes me think of? And I said that. I haven't thought about either one of those in years.
Oh my.
Yeah, but it was interesting. I had a bad day that day, but I left home with a smile on my face.
Talk about stupid people. A lady pulls up to McDonald's drive-thru the other day. Okay, she does an order. Her total comes to $4.25. She pulls up to the window. She hands them a $5 bill and a quarter. The kid that was behind the window says, "Let me get my manager, please." They go and get the manager and bring the manager back, and the manager says, "Man, we don't do that here," and hands them back the quarter and hands them 75 cents.
Why?
They didn't know how to make change.
My dad has this problem at his restaurant too. These kids nowadays cannot do simple math. They can't.
And then
These schools just let them use a calculator.
yeah, and then another common sense stupid person had their car in the shop just to get an oil change, and the keys got locked in the car. The tech's there trying to unlock the driver's side door, and the person that owns the car comes in, and just out of curiosity goes to the passenger side of the car, opens the door and says, "Excuse me." And the tech looks up and goes, "Oh yeah, I know I already got that one, but I'm working on this one now." If you've got one open, people, you can reach across the car and get in. Duh. Just get in and get the keys out.
Oh, that's not as bad as a car story I was told this weekend about this woman having trouble with her car. Sometimes it would start right up, and then other times it didn't want to start.
Was it out of gas?
No. She even took this thing to, I think, was it Bahrain? Some dealership. I don't even remember what kind of car it was. But what the problem was, there were bolts missing where the engine connects to the transmission. So it wasn't, sometimes it wouldn't be making contact. And it wouldn't start. It wouldn't go anywhere.
One more funny story. I've been seeing this thing
Sorry, the bad part is, a friend of hers, I think it was the one that figured this out and replaced those missing bolts, and then the car was fine. But she took it to the dealership, I don't know how many times, and they could not figure that out. How do you miss that?
It was the same tech that was unlocking both sides of the car.
Right?
So, one more, and I've been seeing this circulate around Facebook recently. You know how, like, when you take your car for servicing, a lot of shops will write notes at the bottom? Okay, so this lady goes into a shop, and she was complaining about her roof leaking, right? And the dealer, the work order that had the notes, in the notes he wrote her exact statement. Said her car has a sunroof, right? And that it leaks occasionally when it's raining out, but not when the sunroof is closed.
Cue the crickets.
And these people vote, people.
Yeah, that's the scary part. These people are reproducing.
Hence the state of our government.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, moving on to the next topic. What do we have? Because that was...
I have just been overloaded with a state of dumbness and lack of common sense, so I don't even know what I'm thinking right now.
That makes two of us, people.
So I think we just blew right through all the material we had for this one.
Didn't you have that paper? Of notes?
I covered a couple of them.
Yeah, he already went through that.
Oh.
Hey, Robert.
Well, I didn't see what was in the notes. We make our own notes for this show.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this might be a short episode for all I know.
We'll have
I'm
to
not
fire our
sure.
secretary who does our planning.
We don't have one. We can't afford one.
You know, that's one thing. If we
There's the
get
joke
this
you
show,
just missed.
if we get this show off the ground, I think we really need a chief editor and a secretary to plan for us. Maybe someone to do all our research.
You know
too.
what? I can't even get one guy to even use the material I give him.
All
Why?
stares at Sydney.
Why would I use your material with
Because
cheesy
it was
jokes?
free for you. When you said you didn't have a thing, it was free.
Which is why I went
F-R-E-E.
to the card store.
How many people enjoy free?
Ain't nothing in life free.
Apparently, you don't even understand what it means to be given something and use it.
Yep. All right, folks.
Another time of where we just talked about nothing for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. With some good dead space in there, too.
Well, you know, if you got nothing, you just end up with.
Nothing.
Thank you, Robert. And
Lemonade.
Yeah, when you have lemons, you make lemonade.
No, when you have nothing, you make lemonade.
Then you find somebody whose life's giving them vodka and have a party.
Ladies and gentlemen, for this show, that's all we have. So, as we say every time at the end, so long, everybody.